What's going on, everybody? This is Super Robot Ed, and today we're going to talk about the SS86 Seekers. Now, we know the SS86 Seekers will be upon us in 2026. We'll probably see more pictures throughout the year as we go, and who knows, maybe it'll get dropped early. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just going to tell you like this. I'm very happy. I'm more excited for this than I was for Optimus Prime and Megatron. And why I say that is because Classics Prime is still, Classics Prime. Classics Prime was a great Prime. But Earthrise still, it's a decent Prime. I don't care what nobody says. I call it MP10. And I call SS86 Optimus MP44. Megatron, well, Siege is the best. Earthrise, yeah. And of course, now we have the SS86, which reviews are dropping. Want to be here soon. Expect to have my review up sometime next week. I'm ready to talk about these Seekers now. We're going to go over the history of each of the main three. We're not doing the Coneheads because we don't have a real picture of them. It's a Digibash, and I don't want to use that because I want to see how the engineering will go to make the Coneheads. We can figure it out, but let's not do that right now. It's too much work. All right, starting at the top here, Transformers United is the pinnacle of the Classics line. The Classics line gave you didn't even give you a Thundercracker. In fact, the only way that you could have got Thundercracker in the beginning stages of the Classics is to go to BotCon. And that was a bit of a controversy. Forums were lit up with so many people being upset that he couldn't get Thundercracker natively. There were talks about maybe they can make a different color, yada. Then the people that went to BotCon, they were upset because, they spent all that money for those exclusives. And if another Thundercracker comes out, then it diminishes the value, of course. Not actually something we should be concerned about, but that's what happened during that time. And if you weren't here, you don't know about it. Anyway, I was. Honestly, I didn't really care. I knew that Henkei was dropping. Then they did Henkei, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. They're kind of like together. The only problem with Henkei, Thundercracker, and Skywarp is they use the Starscream Transformers Universe Starscream mold, which is not the same mold as the original Classics Seeker Starscream mold, which is the predecessor and it's used to make basically all of the Seekers. But when they used the Universe version, they used it to make Henkei, Skywarp, and Thundercracker, and that's why to this day they're the most hated. Yes, they are. They are. They come packaged loose like that same figure. Then of course there was Siege Thundercracker. He's a regular, I guess, A-level toy. And of course there was the Earthrise one, which came in a pack with Skywarp. Of course, we're gonna hear that again when we get to Skywarp. But this new one, man, I'm telling you, this is a mini masterpiece. A mini masterpiece. Don't just keep looking. I'm gonna keep talking. All right. Now we get to Transformers United again. This is the pinnacle of the Classics line. Skywarp. He also has controversy. Not because he came out with Ultra Magnus and Target back in 07. No. And of course, not because the Henkei version was made from the other Universe Starscream. No. The United version has heavy-handed paint on all of the Seekers in the set. It is supposed to be the definitive set. It has a high gloss finish, but it is very G1. But the only person to suffer from all two, because there's two, there's the Aces and Elites with the Coneheads, and that has a lot of issues with the Coneheads. I don't even want to talk about that. But the paint is so heavy that if you buy the set, ask if the Skywarp is crumbled before you buy it. I don't care if they don't. I don't care if you got to get it translated because you're buying it from another country. Ask that question. The paint has made this plastic crumble. It's to the point where I keep this in the box in a cool place. So I don't want to hear none of you blokers tell me how I keep my toys. I'm not going to listen. It happened. The paint, every so often, the nose cone is basically turning to dust. The body is still intact, but there are cracks. It's just the paint. And it's the same thing on the Elites. That paint on like the Ramjet on the wings is so heavy that the wings, I had to literally use a little bit of super glue just to keep the cracks from Because I like the set. But it's not. Of course, it's not anywhere going to be near any of the other Seekers that we got. Then there was Skywarp, which of course, and Siege got its. People said I couldn't get it, but you want to know the reality of the Siege version? It sat, and no one wanted to buy it until after the fact. There's your answer. And then of course, Thundercracker and Skywarp in 2-pack. Now on to Starscream. Now Starscream don't really have much controversy. He was released probably the most of all Seekers. We know that. And Classics, fair enough. He got a ton of releases. His United version is actually, I don't know, because he doesn't need as much paint as the other two. Holds up well. I love the paint job on him. It's accurate. The sculpt is just not accurate. And the blasters were forever too big on all three. If you were smart, you would get the Hunger Games, or not Hunger, I think it's called Hunger Games blaster set. Even though they were a little too long, they still looked a heck of a lot better than those odd blasters. But at least those blasters could actually shoot the missile off. We still had, mechanical mechanisms back then. Then, of course, we got Siege Starscream, which changed the game. A lot of people didn't like Transformers mainline at all. You had your Masterpiece snobs. You had the third-party snobs. There were no Legends Clash yet. It was either third-party or Masterpiece. And when Siege Starscream came out, the masses came out, and they were like, yeah, this is a good figure. At the end of the day, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. And I still love Siege Starscream. I love the Siege mold for the Seekers in general over Earthrise. However, Earthrise is, not king, just canon because the sculpt matches what I saw in the cartoon. But as you well know, no waist swivel. We still had very similar transformations that have Classics. We also had the rudders and tail fins hanging off the side of the leg. Although better because we had feet swivel, without the waist swivel, it always still does limit your posing. I'm sorry. Y'all can get mad all you want. I like my waist swivel. There's reasons for that. And of course, with all three Seekers, they're going to be released. They're going to be released as, I guess, I don't know if it's A-level. Nothing announced at them being special, though there is a special Starscream. I'm hoping that's just a different scope, maybe a, coronation set for Target, because, that would be cool. But to make Starscream a Target exclusive would be very, very bad. Very bad. Like how he did Siege Skywarp. And I need to address Siege Skywarp because I think y'all boy don't realize Siege Skywarp set. I got my Siege Skywarp in I forgot September of 2019, 2020. I forget which year it is, but it was available. It wasn't like, oh, you had it. I don't know who told y'all it sold out because it sat. Just like now, the other sets didn't sit, and I'll explain that. So when they did, the Earthrise sets, like the Ironhide the Prowl and the Ratchet and the other one, no, they didn't sit because everybody got the jitters from Skywarp. But Skywarp was there for $49.99 for a while. And it got even as bad to where they were restocking it on the low. Yeah, there were cats popping in, getting that figure at $49.99 because they still had trickle down stock. And they kept their notifications going. And, this is after everybody, was getting all crazy over it. That notice came in and it was gone. And that's the same thing here. Now, I hope that we get Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker as regular releases, and that Target version will be something different, maybe a G1 coloration, but not something to where we have to go through hoops and hurdles to get them. Now, I hope that's the case, and we don't know yet. Now, I'm going to say this mold looks fantastic. The gaps are filled. Because even on the original Classics mold, between the first Starscream Classics and the Universe version, there was like these gaps at the shoulder, in the inner of the shoulders, and it's worse on the Universe version. Go look this up if you don't believe me, since y'all want to say I'm wrong, because I know a lot of y'all going to say they're the same, and no, they're not. And that's from my experience, but yeah, I guess you got to go to TF Wiki to help you out. But yeah, that's what I see right now. I really see a promising future. Now, I know people are saying, oh, Series 6A and all that stuff. Just listen, man. We don't know what Hasbro going to do. Just wait for the toys to come out, buy the toys, and be happy. I don't like to do all that future stuff because one time we say something and the next time Hasbro makes change their mind. And we got a lot of people that work for Hasbro that don't really work for Hasbro. So you know what I mean by that. But of course, I'm going to try to give you the source information that I know at the best of my ability, as always. So are you ready for all 3 Seekers? What are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. This is Super Robot Ed, bringing more news reveals to them. We'll see you soon. This video went long, and if you don't like it, that's too bad. I feel sorry for you. Bye-bye.